All right, guys, welcome to the stream. You are watching bonus coverage from Outer Tables here at the Q Sports International Predator Pro Series, stop number 3 here in Michigan. I am Jeremy Mason, the host of the Sweat Podcast, here for a collaborative effort with the Booth Brothers. Should be joined in the booth in a little bit by Melina Mike. Joey Ryan is at home doing some work. Melina Mike is at home as well, but we'll be joining remotely as far as I know. Hope you guys have been enjoying these streams, starting yesterday and, of course, the last few events in Las Vegas and back in Tucson for a little bit. Really cool of Q Sports International to allow us to be doing this. Awesome from them, because, some of the best matchups that we get sometimes are out on these outer tables, not on the mainstream. So it's good for the pool nuts back home to be able to watch the real good action on the outer tables. We've got a B-side match for you here starting out. Actually, two guys that we got to watch a little bit of yesterday. Michael Yednak, about a 680 Fargo player out of Brooklyn, New York, matching up with Kang Lee, who we watched him lose a match yesterday to Oliver Zoldnoki. Looks like a couple balls down here on the break to start out. Not WPA rules here at the CSI event, so early 10s do count. The 10 on the break does count. Nearly got it to go there on that break, and the 2 10s looking real juicy if he can get this one down. I think he'll probably fire at this. Tough to really duck when you got a ball hanging like that. If you guys are out there watching, feel free to go ahead and jump in the comments, chime in, especially if it's just me in the booth for a little while. Love having some interaction from you guys. I'm trying to oh, and the 10's going to go, and that's a good roll, I'd have to say, for Kang. Going to give up the table here to Michael Yednak, but now they're playing this full rack out. They're not just racing to the 2 ball. So, and Michael appears to not have the full ball here, as far as I can tell from my angle. He certainly could see the right side of the one, but it's scary going that route. You have to really catch the thin side of it to avoid the scratch in the corner. He's actually taking a look at kicking at this ball because it's much safer. He wants a right side half ball hit on the one to get it going down to the left side long rail and back under that traffic there with the cluster. 8, 7, 4, 10. All those balls can provide cover, and the cue ball should stay up table relatively close to where that one is. But wow, it looks like he might have come up out of that a little bit. Looks like he might have applied a little bit of spin that he didn't want to that ball with some right side spin. That was not intended. That ball straightened up and came straight back at him. It really didn't even come close to contacting that one ball. So a little bit of a pretty, I mean, that should have been a pretty routine shot to hit that one ball. So maybe more of the same carrying over from yesterday's match. We really saw Michael struggle in that match against a local player here from Michigan, who he was favored against on paper, but really struggled in that match. Ended up losing, I believe, in a might have gone to a shootout. Actually, no, I don't think it did go to a shootout. I think he might have lost in straight sets. So nice opportunity here for Mr. Lee. Let me see if I can pull up some information on Kang Lee for you guys. Kang Lee, right on that level, that 700 level Fargo is 699. Somebody in the comments did say that Mike did go to a shootout and lose, so thank you for that. Um, I think so. Both these guys that we're watching lost in a shootout yesterday. Then, and great opportunity here for Kang. I was just gonna say from New York as well. Both these guys from New York, and pretty even match on paper. Kang maybe a slight favorite on paper. Great job to get all the way across that line for that 7 ball. Makes this much easier. He might just float forward here a little bit. Has not made up his mind yet, but I think the simplest way to is he gonna drag this all the way out? Okay. Put a really nice stroke on that. Made it look easy. And in great position here to get this first rack and be off to a great start here. Anybody that doesn't know, a little bit of a different format than what we're used to seeing here. This CSI Predator Pro Series. This is the third event we've seen with this format. Races to 4. You play 2 sets. Obviously, if the same player wins both sets, the match is over. That player advances. But if both players are tied at a set apiece after those 2 sets, um, it goes to a shootout, a spot shot shootout, where you're shooting the 10 ball. The 10 goes below the spot, actually, where it would be in a rack of a 10 ball rack. And then the players alternate turns, alternating the side of the table, 4 full innings. And if one player leads after 4 innings, that player is the winner. And if not, it goes to a sudden death in the shootout where the players actually have to move the cue ball back to the first diamond in the kitchen and continue alternating left side to the right side of the table. Very exciting format. Every single shot matters, every single rack matters. You're never fully in control. Couple questions in the comments here. Yeah, as far as I know, those are Predator lights over the tables. The actual mainstream table has about 5 or 6 Predator lights um, over that one. So these every single table does have a Predator light. And that was a 10 on the break there for Kang Lee. So 2 breaks, and we've seen that 10 go in once and hang in the corner the other time. So got to be frustrating there. And I actually hadn't even changed the score for you guys. So let me get on that. 2-0 in favor of Kang Lee. And you can kind of see some of the frustration as Michael approaches the table there to help collect the balls out of the pockets. And these are 9-foot tables for that other question there, as somebody in the comments already answered. So 9-foot Predator tables. These are the brand new Predator tables. Players don't seem to be loving them. The rails are very springy. There still seems to be a lot of work to be done to perfect these models. Huge break here for Kang. 2 balls down. Great look at the 1. Couple problems though. I don't think the 6 will pass the 7 to the corner, and the 4 is in close proximity with the 10. Does not appear to have a pocket either. So let's take a look and see how Kang decides to deal with this. Sorry for the silence, guys. Taking a moment just to make sure I go ahead and get this video shared. I would appreciate any help from you guys in that regard as well. Take a second, go ahead and like and share the video. We appreciate all the help we can get on that, whether you're watching on the Pool Player Podcast YouTube channel or across one of the various pages that this is being streamed to on Facebook. We really appreciate any help we can get with that. And of course, if you're enjoying the stream at any point, if you would like to make a donation, any amount is greatly appreciated. I think we actually have a giveaway that we will be announcing here in a minute for anybody that makes a $5 donation. I think Melina Mike's getting ready to join me, and we'll go over the specifics of that giveaway with you guys. Are you there, Mike? Can you hear me, Mike? All right. Looks like Mike just might still be trying to get things set up, guys. I'll have him in a few minutes here. All right. So you missed a couple of safety plays there. Kick from Mr. Yednak, and then Kang now at the table with an opportunity. Still has to deal with that 6-7. He's going to try to get an angle on this 5 ball, and it appears that he's got it to be able to come straight back into that 7-6. I think maybe ideal here would be to hit the rail above the 7 and then hit the right side of the 7. That would kind of kick the 7 out and move the 6 down towards the pocket a little bit. He'd have a great look. But we'll see what kind of control he can have on this as he goes into that cluster. I narrowly misses hitting it exactly how I called it, and just misses on the high side there. But he has a look at the 6 here to try to come up with the safety. I don't think there's a combination on here. It's certainly off angle. There appears to be some space between the 6 and the 7. He's kind of taking a look at it. I don't know that he's looking at it to try to fire at it, or if he's just looking at it to make sure he's not going to make it accidentally as he looks to play safe behind the 10, possibly here, 2 rails. Yeah, it doesn't really try to get behind the 10. Just plays a little bit of a containing safety there. Does give up a bank shot opportunity here to Michael. But looks like he's cutting the 6 to his left a little bit to play this bank shot. Cue ball will be traveling down table towards the corner, towards the 10 ball. So he's going to have to control his cue ball here. And so he just elects to drop back and play the safety behind the 10. Just it looks like a little bit of hesitation on the stroke there for Michael. Really doesn't seem comfortable. And again, like it's very early in this match, but we watched him play yesterday and saw some of the same. Just doesn't seem to have a ton of confidence right now. Really seems to be struggling. So we'll see if he can figure something out here in time to make a match of this and try to fight here and stay alive. And looks like we do have Melina Mike with us now. Good morning, Mike. What's going on?
Morning, guys. How you doing, buddy? Can you hear me?
I can. You sound good.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I didn't know you were on until Joey sent me a PM. So Uh, what do we got going on here? Fill
We're
me
actually
in.
watching B-side action between two players that we watched yesterday, Michael Yednak and Kang Lee. Both these guys, I believe, lost in shootouts yesterday. Michael lost to a local guy, and Kang, I think we saw him lose to Oliver Zolnoki in a shootout.
Yeah, that's right. That was actually ended up being a real solid match where Kang ended up fighting back and stealing that one to go and force the shootout.
Yeah, and then
So it looks
here,
like they already had a 10:30 round already this morning. I'm just playing a little catch up here.
yeah, I think there was two matches. Do you have an update for us?
Yeah, so it looks like Mohammed Al Berjoui beat Bader beat Muhammad in the 10:30 match, and then Warren Kiamko defeated Mason Coke. Um, and I think that looks to be it. I don't think there was anything on the winner side because they don't start until noon. So over on the TV table here in about, well, I don't know if that's on right now. I haven't even checked, but it's Fedor and Kachi. So, oh, it looks like, yeah, they are live, in fact, right now. So, um, Mark White should be doing the commentary there. Let me see if I can grab a score update. But you guys can check that out on World Billiard TV on YouTube. Make sure and go support them as well. Um, they're doing a fantastic job. Um, but anyway, back to this one. I'll update as soon as they're on a commercial break, so I'll update here soon. But yeah, it looks like the tournament's coming together real good. A lot of the better players are moving on, so it's really making this round of matches just be that much better. Good shot
Yeah,
by Kang.
that particular quarter of the bracket is pretty brutal. You've got that third round match between Fedor Gorst and Clint Kachi, and I think also in that group maybe was it John Mora, or I know there was another really top player in that bracket, that quarter. I looked at
Yeah,
it last night. I
yeah.
haven't looked at it this morning.
Let me see. Let me bring it up my other phone because I've got the YouTube on this other one. I've been dealing with a bunch of BS because of that match last night. So it's been a pain.
That was a really nice out
Um,
from Kang Lee. Had to play three rail shape to the short side of the 7 ball so that he could play it down in the corner and able to get out. Mike, we've seen 3 breaks from Kang so far in this set. The first one, he hung the 10 in the corner. The second one, he made the 10. And then that third one, it went that direction and came back out to the center of the table. So something to watch. It's been tracking right towards that lower left-hand corner every time.
it's something to do with the racking for sure. And this is part of, I don't necessarily agree with it, and I don't think a lot of people there agree with it, the early 10 balls, because um, you're racking your own and it's a short race. Um, so that can be a bit much. Plus, it's winter break on top of that. So, um, you know, it can be pretty brutal. Over in that side of the bracket, just to go and answer your question, uh, yeah, John Moore and Oliver are also in that same little area. So the winner out of that match will face the winner out of Kachi and Fedor. And it looks like Kachi's up in the first set 3-1. So, but we saw it yesterday, right? I mean, these matches can go and swing so fast from one direction to the other. So even though, like in this one, where Kang's up 3-0, one win from Mike and break and run or early 10 or whatever, and it's already 3-2, and now Kang's starting to feel a little bit of heat behind him. So um, it can definitely shift.
And yeah, no, just to point out to Troy, New Jersey pool player in the comments there are early 10s in this event. This is not WPA rules. This is custom CSI rule set. The early 10s count. The 10 on the break counts. It's winner break. Races to 4. And if players are tied at a set apiece, it goes to a spot shot shootout. So very, very exciting format. We've seen a lot of shootouts, a lot of great matches, a lot of Yeah, you know, it's only a race to 4, and you could win the first set 4-0 and be coasting in the second set, and like one shot can completely turn it around. And the next thing you know, you're fighting for your life in a shootout.
So it looks like if the Fedor and Kachi match is on right now. Hold on, this is a B-side match?
Yeah, this is B-side.
Yeah, because they both. Hmm, okay. I'm just trying to look through the bracket here. Hmm.
Looks like Kang has a nice angle here. I don't know that there's room to pocket the 4 as it sits, so he can probably drag this back into the 7 ball right now if he wants to try to open that up. But he's going to hit it full in the face. Oh, he's going to get just enough, Mike. Wow. It's going to be a tough reach. He's probably going to need an extension or a bridge, but that opened up just enough for him to be able to pocket the 4. And actually, it's perfect because that 7 ball could have gone and tied up the 5. But as it is, the 5 still passes to the same pocket where he's about to shoot the 4. Although you might see him just come out one rail here and play it up table. Now he's looking
Yeah, I
at
was
going
kind of
around 3
curious if he could
rails.
actually. Yeah, he's got a 3 cushion background, so I'm not surprised there. But I was curious if he could actually pocket it, but he can. So, or he wouldn't have measured up that 3 railer. Good shot. Yeah, he ended up coming out real good there. You really haven't seen any uh like lack of confidence when it comes to Kang and how he's approaching each shot and his mechanics, like you've seen from, or like we saw from Mike yesterday. I know Mark had sent us a video, not a video, a picture of Yednik watching the stream, maybe to kind of learn to see where he could have improved on. So I know since I jumped in, I haven't seen him really hit a ball. Um, so
Well, we did
we'll
see
see how he looks.
in the first rack, I told you that Kang hung up that 10 ball. The 2 was right next to it, and Kang started with a full table look at the 1. He missed that, but he left a kick shot for Yednak, and it was a very simple 1 rail kick shot. The 1 was close to the rail, but Yednak actually went to kick at it and put some right hand spin that he didn't intend and missed the whole ball by a considerable margin. And so, and then right after that, of course, Kang able to get out there and then snaps the 10 in on the next break. So certainly a frustrating start to continue the tough action yesterday for Yednak. It's going to take some great mentality here if he's going to be able to bounce back and try to get back into this match.
Well, he's looking all right now, but he's got to make sure and get back on the 10. Nice shot by Kang. You really got to keep your composure when you have a shot like that. You did good.
Yeah, so assuming that Kang is able to get these last 2 balls here, guys, we'll take the time as soon as this rack ends to go ahead and announce the giveaway that we have for you guys. Want to make sure we get to that. Yep, so Kang able to complete that rack, wins the first set by a score of 4-0. They're going to get right back into the second set here. So let me see if I can find this graphic here for you guys. So let me see if I can get this name right. Damien Pongpanic, I don't know, of the owner of Jam Up Apparel has generously offered to donate a customized Jam Up competition polo for whoever we choose. And so Joey and Mike talked, and they decided that the way we're going to do that is we were going to create a drawing and enter the names of every person who donates to the stream throughout the week. Shout out to a donation yesterday from a gentleman, I believe his name was Jeff Young, if I'm not mistaken. So thank you to Jeff Young. So basically, any $5 donation will get you guys 1 entry into the drawing. Any $20 donation will get you guys 5 entries into the drawing. And then once we are done streaming, probably in one of the last matches of the week, we'll go ahead and draw. I'm sure Joey will probably go live with some kind of random number randomizer or something like that, and we'll give that away to one lucky winner. So big thanks to Damien for doing that. And somebody's going to win a really nice shirt, Mike.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, so there was gonna be that one, and then I told Joey we're gonna match it. So we'll do 2. So I'm still a little foggy right now, but I think what we'll end up doing is we'll end up picking 2 winners. So actually, whatever tickets you buy into, it won't just be for one jersey. You'll be able to customize, and it's not just the one that you saw there online. You can go check up jamupapparel.com, browse their jersey section. It's whatever they got available. You can have your name, your team name, whatever it is you want to do. Damien will throw one. We'll throw up another one. So we'll actually select 2 winners. We appreciate any support. But anyway, back to the action. So it looks like this is going to be the second set, right, Jeremy?
Yeah. First break of the second
Okay.
set here. The break automatically goes to the loser of the first set. So, one of the things that people
push that break.
Yeah, it's pretty effective too, right? Gets a ball to go in the side pocket, I think, and great look at the one here. Everything pretty wide open. But I was just going to say, one of the complaints we heard from some of the players is that, race to 4, winner break, somebody can run a set out, right? But first of all, we haven't seen that at all. We haven't really seen anything close to it. And then, but also the break automatically goes to the loser of the first set to start out the second set. So no relag, no coin toss, anything like that.
Is that right?
Yeah. Oh, and he just drew that ball straight into the side pocket. Oh my goodness. Wow.
He's sick. And actually it was a pretty good, like you said, it was a really good break. So that just makes it just that much that much tougher. Jesus. He's not going to be happy about that.
Yeah, and we talk about it all the time, Mike. I feel like it's a conversation we have every time we're on together, but it's just so crazy in pool how when the negative thoughts creep in, the negative feelings creep in, it just finds a way to continue to manifest itself on the table in your game.
Well, I think I've talked with Joey about this a few times, but it was something that I'm sure other people have said it, but Scott Frost says the balls know when you're playing bad, the pool gods know when you're playing bad. So when it comes to rolls and things like that, nice shot by King. You don't want to be on the rail.
Yeah, I think he didn't want to be on the rail for sure, but he can, I think, just float forward here, even if he has to go all the way up and play the 4 on the side. But no, he'll just roll forward a few inches. Pretty simple stuff here. And he's still on the right side of the line here to just kind of stun over for the 6 in the same pocket a little bit. 7 goes in the side. This is pretty simple.
We'll have some other stuff to give away too. I'm just looking around here at my desk, and I still have some Kamui vouchers, so we'll do some more trivia later on for a free Kamui tip voucher. I got to mail out Tim Price today. That reminds me, I got to go to the post office today because I got some other stuff to mail out. But I'll hang with you here. We'll take a look and see what the next match is going to be as well. And then on the tail end of the afternoon, I'll have to go and run do that. I think Kang ended up coming out looking pretty good there after.
Yeah, it didn't quite
approach.
It didn't quite hit it the way he wanted. And when you go to play forward with inside on a shot like that, a slightly different contact point on the object ball makes a very big difference for the trajectory of the cue ball. And he came a lot longer, but didn't really matter. He could have got jacked up on the 9. Really unlucky if he would have got behind the 8 there, but he's going to be fine.
That's the one thing I like about this kid's game. I mean, I don't know how old he is, but he's just real. He keeps his emotions in check. You know, you don't see him like shrug his shoulders or you know slap the chalk on the table or any of the on tilt stuff that I do. So uh, he does he does a real good job of just keeping his emotions in check, and I like that. I mean, I think there's something to be
Absolutely.
said about having emotion from guys and pool players, and I've talked about that before. But um, he just kind of he takes his medicine, and I can appreciate that approach.
Absolutely. And it's kind of the same conversation we were just talking about, right? With Michael, with the reverse of it. And to be fair,
Yeah,
it's not necessarily something that's normal with Yednak, that as far as we know. It's just he's really, really struggled a couple matches here. So, but Kang, just positive vibes, positive body language. And if he does get a little bit out of line, it's kind of like, okay, here we are. Now what?
yeah, yeah, for sure. He just tries to figure out a solution um, if he does go and get himself in any kind of problem. So, whereas Mike might be just frustrated after how his game went. I've I've
Yeah.
seen him play a little bit here and there, and his mechanics and things like that just aren't aren't what I'm used to watching of Mike. So look at that 10 ball. It's a hanger,
Yeah. And he's going to
literally.
have
Is this
to.
so he's hung it before in that same
No, it was
in that same pocket?
actually on the other side. I didn't see if he switched sides for the break on that one, but he made it and hung it in the left-hand pocket earlier in the first set.
I don't know, depends on how much he can get on this one ball, but God, if I think if that cue ball
That
was just a little lower
that ball might go.
in the side.
Yeah, I don't know. Though the more I look at it, the more I'm not sure. But it's tough to. Can you maybe bank it at the 10 and hold the cue right behind the 3? I think that's what he just called.
Well, that's what I was saying. Well, that's what I don't think I said it, but I was thinking in my head anyway. I'm sure you guys heard that. But it was more of just to hold it like that and play it kind of a
Yeah,
two-way.
yeah.
And
You're playing
yeah,
all cue ball there.
yeah, for sure. Um, Mike's in trouble here because they are playing early 10 balls. So, and I don't really see, I'm trying to look. Um, hmm.
This is not good.
No, unless you got some trickery up your sleeve here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he's gonna be able to do because see the thing is that you can only cue but so much of the ball. So even if you want to tighten it up off that top rail, um, you're limited just because of how much you're able to go and put a tip on the cue ball. So
Well, I think he would have what he needs if he is going to tighten it up, like try to maybe go like between the 6-2 or something. He would have the left side of the bottom of the cue ball available. So I don't know that it's there though. Even being able to hit the cue ball in the right spot, I don't know that it's there. There's another shot here. If there's really nothing else, you can kind of there's a way to measure pushing straight through the 3 just to try to pocket the 10 and intentionally foul. You're fouling pushing through the 3 anyways. Um, but he hasn't looked at that at all. So he's going to try to kick at this 110.
no,
I
he's
don't
in
know
a
if
bad
he's
game.
I don't know if he's
He's
going all the way
he's
around the 2 or between the 6-2. Tough to get it to turn that much. And Mike, we saw yesterday when somebody tried to tighten one up with how springy these rails are, it's really tough to get the English to take a lot.
yeah, that's a whole other factor that I didn't even go and think about is the way that these rails are playing.
Oh, we got it to
Well, he
go
tried. Yeah,
plenty.
he got it to bite a lot. Yeah, but then you're dealing with the other problem of all those landmines to go and dodge in that 9 ball. And Michael Yednick's about to be down 2-0 after losing the first set 4-0. So um,
And this is
great
why
safety by Kang Lee though.
for sure. But, this kind of a match right here is why I think all of us are saying like the 10 on the break is just a bad rule. Like you can't let a guy just continue to throw the 10 at the pocket every time like this. Like we're not really watching 10 ball right now. in this match.
Well, yeah, I don't like that. I mean, well, yeah, the ball's already tracking towards the pocket, so something's going on with that rack, right? And it's part of the rule. So I mean, and it's not cheating or anything.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, for
then,
sure. Yeah.
and then, if it's hanging like that on what you did, um, it's so tough to go and fade, man, because they are such short races. So like for my money, and personally, because I've been watching a lot of 10 ball lately where they're not playing early tens. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of it personally because I enjoy seeing the creative, caroms and combos and things like that where it'll get you a game winner, right? Like we go and see in 9 ball if it's called. Um, but this, it's like, man, you're playing a race to four, and then because of that rack and that break, he's hanging it. It's a lot to go and fade, man. So I'd be surprised if because there will be another season of this at least from whenever we talk to Ozzy, um, that it is going to happen again next year. So I'd be surprised if they don't go and adjust that part of the rule uh, where no tens on the break at least.
And I love this move here from Yednak. If he has any chance, this is what needed to happen right here. Like you said, this is a lot to fade, and the way he's struggling is a lot to fade, but you got to give yourself a chance to go ahead and get reset and somehow come back to the table with a positive thought in your head. Your tournament life depends on it.
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. You're running out of time. That's for sure. If you're Mike, um, and he's got a pretty decent shot here. It looks like I'm not sure how he's going to try to plan to attack the 2 ball. I doubt he would hold for a bank. It's hard to tell on this angle, but
I think he's
I
going
might
towards
try to
the 10
just
a little bit, right?
well see, and I think that could actually play to his advantage if he decides to follow it, because then that if he decides to play the cue ball into the 10, depending on what side of the 10 he'll hit, it'll end up pushing that cue ball more towards the right, where he may end up with the shot all the way down on the 2. But um, we'll find out here whenever he gets back
Yeah,
what he
I
wants
see
to
that
do.
shot. It's scary. You're getting the cue ball to travel down towards that 5, 7, 6 area, and there's a lot to fade
Yeah,
there, especially when you're rolling bad.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think it's just that old question, like, what do you do when you're stuck? Do you continue to play conservative? Do you start taking swings? Do you just stick to the game plan? One of the guys who's had the best year in pool in Albin Ocean, he's you'll watch a lot of his matches, and if he's ever stuck, he just stays the course. He'll continue to play the right shot, continue to play the right safety, and it's had him a lot of successes this year. So, and I'm not saying that's the reason why, but it's a
I
part of
think
it.
it's a big part of his success, I would say. Maybe there are other players that play it differently who
Yeah.
also have success, but for him, I think it is a big thing. I think it's part of it matches his personality, right? Like try to always be level, don't show anything on the outside. Although we have seen him frustrated at times this year. But for the most part, he's that cerebral kind of Zen-like player, just tries to be as steady as he can in all aspects. And I think that strategy matches right up with that personality type.
Yeah, it's only been like I remember when I had seen him at the World 10 Ball like 2 years ago, because I always used to just watch them on like matchroom stages, right? And where he would be more composed and have his emotions more in check. And then when I saw him at the World 10 Ball in Vegas a couple years ago, he was showing a lot of emotion. Like not quite Mika emotion, but he was showing a lot of emotion. And I remember thinking to myself, man, that's surprising of Albin. And then over the last few years, it seems to have shown itself a little more. Everyone's got an opinion, what they think about that. But um, personally, I like it. But it just depends. Like if you can thrive off of it, you got to be able to like take that energy in, process it, and then make it come out where you still got to be successful and fight back. And Albin's got coaches. He treats it like a sport. So he's got his methods to go and work through things.
Certainly one of my favorite European players to watch. And wow, great
Mm,
patience here from Jednak. Although I don't
sold
know that
out.
he might have sold out. Wow. But man, so tough to make that decision when you're chasing, you know. But
Yeah,
on
because
one hand,
now it makes sense, right? Well, you should have fired at it. Well, I mean, you know, if he locks him up like that, then he's sitting real pretty, right, Jeremy? So, I
yeah,
mean,
I think
hindsight's
I
funny like
like the
that.
decision. But one of the things that you'll see in pool from time to time is guys just don't give the attention to non-offensive shots that they deserve. So you grind and give your full attention and your full shot process every time on your runouts, and then when you go to play a safety or the shot before a shot where you plan to play a safety, or even like an intentional foul kind of shot, you just don't quite give it that same attention. And you almost need to be giving them more attention because the room for error a lot of times is even smaller.
Well, yeah, because and especially in this case, I mean, you're sending the one ball by the pocket. So either you got to commit to knowing that you're going to get the lockdown on the cue ball, or make sure you weld that one ball to the six or get it in that mess of that 7-6 area, But either way, you got to commit to executing one thing or the other, where it just seemed like he just kind of middled it all and ended up leaving the one altogether.
The other factor there, Mike, is when you're struggling and when your fundamentals maybe aren't on point the way that they are, and you're trying to search and figure out what it is that's wrong in your process. Um, a lot of players tend to get a little bit more jabby, and what the first thing that goes in that is your speed control and your cue ball control, and so those safeties become more difficult because you're not trusting your stroke, and the more jabby you are, the more difficult it is to get the speed right on the cue ball because you have to factor in the slide and the jump of the
Yeah.
ball and stuff like that. So safe to say that we have not seen Yednak's best. I think we've both alluded to that. His Fargo alludes to that. You don't accidentally go ahead and get a 685 Fargo, you know?
Mm, yeah.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Well, I'm. It was all because he's trying to just hold it so much and kill it with inside. That was the whole reason why that shot happened. It didn't look like the cue ball wasn't low enough to where he could try to dig into it, maybe play into the six or into the seven. So he was really, really, really trying to hold that angle to have a shot, and ended up just coming up short on the make. Ooh, boy, when it rains, it pours, huh?
Absolutely.
Jeez,
I think if it's
I
me, I'm gonna
I might
call
be
the
breaking the
10
queue.
ball. I was just gonna talk about the next shot, and you're
Yeah,
you're Brit.
I'm
That's
I'm
funny.
on 10. Yeah. Oh man.
So, but I was going to say, I think you can kind of bank the 7, call the 10, and pull your cue ball back behind the 8 here. It's not fun having to duck again, but you just have to
I like
stay
that shot though.
disciplined.
Yeah.
They called the
I
7 in the
I like
corner.
I like your shot better.
I think it's
At least it
easier to
gives
get
you
the
a
cue
chance to
ball
go
where you
in.
want.
Yeah.
To me, it's tough to
He
get the
might be
cue
able to
ball
make the
behind the
7
8.
aside, actually.
I think he already
Yeah,
called it
I
up in
might
the
actually.
corner.
He did. Playing it two-way where he might end up in that middle diamond up top.
See, so my
Ooh,
shot was real close there, I think, you know,
for sure,
but
for sure. And
he hit it
he hit the
good
10,
though.
right? He hit the
Yeah,
10 with
yeah,
the
that hit
7.
the top side of
Yeah,
the 10. Yep. So if he would have like pinched that a little bit more and more kind of like stunned the cue ball backwards, that 7 shortens up and you
yeah,
can really have a go at it.
yeah, yeah. That was a real good shot. And looks like he don't have much to go and jump here. Um, we saw Kang Lee go and jump a few balls yesterday, to say the least, and um, I don't remember him being effective in the sense of pocketing balls, but he didn't have any issue getting over, that's for sure.
Yeah, and good things can happen here. You want to miss this on the like air on the side of overcutting the ball a little bit because you can get it up on the head rail cue ball, come back down table towards the 8 or for the 8, and the 9 ball has the other pocket blocked if it goes a little farther. So man, he did, and he hit it full in the face. Is that going to scratch?
Mm,
I
A little bit of emotion from Kang Lee, but I mean, he sold up the 7 ball. He can only do but so much there, you know.
Oh yeah,
Ain't
yeah.
nothing to hang your head about, hang your
And the
head on.
safety, the patience from Yednak pays off. Let's see if he can kind of get out of his own way here and get these balls down.
God, look how much that ball. He barely gave it anything.
Yeah, and he's a little flat here. This is not perfect. He doesn't like it. Yeah. The 3-rail shape going for, or 2 rails going forwards, taking him real thin on the 9. Even going across the line to the short side. And it's really flat to try to punch it straight up the table. He might draw out 3 rails. Yeah, or 2 rails, but it's, you see how jabby he was? That's what happens. That's what I'm talking about when you're struggling with your fundamentals. You just get real pokey with the cue and you just don't get the action on the cue ball.
He's twisting it. I mean, golly, did you see? I wish we had instant replay so you can go and watch just how much he torqued his wrist on that shot. I mean, he came out all right, but it may be time to go back to the lab, you know. What are you doing here?
He got the double kiss there, but I don't mind ducking on that one, especially when your opponent has shown no signs of being able to come with a great shot when he needs it, you know?
For sure. I don't know what Mike, I mean, I know what I'm doing here, but I don't know what Mike's doing here.
Is he allowed another player break? I mean, I don't know.
Oh, man.
It's tough. And, you know, I've been in this spot before, Mike, where you get into a tournament or a challenge match and you just cannot figure out what's going on. Nothing's going right. None of the adjustments work. Everything's just, it's just not your day. And we all know that he can perform at a much higher level than this. And this, I just think it'll be one to forget about if he doesn't find a way to right the ship, you know?
That's why I almost like, you know, like whenever I'm stuck, you know, I almost just I'm gonna fire. I'm gonna let my stroke out and just get back to pocketing balls, you know, and then just kind of just break it down and build it back up from there. But he executed this shot real well.
Yeah, that was a good shot.
Good shot by Mike.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. And, you know, I even sometimes go a step farther with it. And if I've tried everything else and nothing's working, I'll just get down and one stroke the ball and act like I'm on fire. And sometimes you can trick yourself into snapping out of it, because what happens in this spot is you're thinking about everything. And most of the time that's not good. So if you could, sometimes the only way you can kind of snap out of that is just fake it. I say fake it till you make it, you know, just act like you're playing good and maybe you will.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
The other thing is when you have as much experience as anybody that has the ability to play at Michael's level, your muscle memory has a chance to take over at that point. If you can just get your head out of the way.
Boy, how true is that statement, huh? Good shot by Kang Lee. You know,
what a great
if it
shot.
laid good. Yeah. He executed that real well. Yeah, if what happened leading up to it, and actually the safety, like we said, was real good. Not the safety, but just the containing. You know, Kang just came with a shot there, but if he wasn't on tilt before, he is now.
You know, there's a possibility here. Maybe Michael has logged into the Booth Brothers and sees that we have 150 people out there watching across various platforms, and he figures it may be more equitable for him to dump here and line up a whole bunch, like trap all these people that are watching right now.
Oh man,
I don't
yeah.
think that's the,
He's
I don't
he's
think that's the case.
he's gonna try to find a game here after this, and everyone's gonna get busted. Now he's a competitor, and you know, oh come on, Mike, this is your chance now. You got to make the best of it. You know,
And he still
you
can't get
got
an
it.
open layout here. I mean, he's gonna have to play a 210 here more than likely. Doesn't have to. He's looking at it right now. But the thing is,
Oh
it
boy,
does
come
have a
on now,
pocket. It does have a pocket.
come on now. I, I don't know. I don't know about this one. Well, let me see. Hold on. What? He's calling
Does
the
he
10
play?
now?
Wow. Well, I mean, maybe
Okay.
he's
Well,
thinking if you're going to shoot it, you might as well shoot it with the ball in hand. I mean, I don't like this either. I think if I'm playing the combo, I'm playing shape for the
I don't like this at
the
all.
210.
I
Yeah.
don't mind. I'm a sucker, so I don't mind playing combos. This is a horrible combo, you know. So, um, I don't like this shot at all. I mean, what are you playing it two ways? Are you gonna just draw it straight back into the nine and just hopefully, you know, it gets covered by the six in case one ball will hit the 10 and then come to the right side? I don't know what you're doing here.
Looks like he does want to pinch it back behind the 6, maybe.
Well, he got a pretty good swing at it. I gotta give him credit for that. Played about as well as you can hit it.
Yeah, probably another jump shot here for Kang. He might have a very, very thin edge here, but I'm not sure what it does for him. Yeah, looking for the jump cue here. The 1 does pass the 3 to the lower right-hand corner, so you're just trying to make this one.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess because it kind of did what I said. It kind of the one ball came off the 10 to the right side of the table, so he did get covered by the six. I thought he would be a little bit more cue ball on the nine, uh, but it was effective. And I mean, here's his chance now, right? At least get one
Carl,
game on the board.
yeah, Carl in the comments there, the scoreboard is on the screen. Kang leads 3-0 here in the second set. He won the first set by a score of 4-0. Michael Yednak really, really struggling, trying to right the ship here and claw back into this match. And the 2 ball goes here. You can play the 2, pinch the cue ball into the 5. It'll hold right there. Just got to make sure the 5 doesn't cover the 3. He was
Get in
able to
there,
draw
ball.
past it. That's better. But he's short.
Hot. Well, call it 10. I don't know. I, all bets are off here. I don't know what Mike's doing. So no, I'm kidding. He's gonna try to come around two rails and get the four on the side, but um,
It's not
I
easy
don't
though.
know.
This is tough to hold here, I think. I called the
What did
10.
I say? See, what did I say? Why not? Because now that six ball's in a real bad spot, so just play all 10 here. Get in the hole
Got it.
ball. Get
Got
in the
it.
hole ball. There you go. There you go. Get one on the board. Let's just see some better body language, Mike. Come on now. Well, he got one down. And see, the only reason why I decided to go for it was because of that 6-8 that he didn't like. Because even if he goes and hits the three perfect, gets the four on the side, the five ball was wide open, then it's like, okay, then I'm still playing that combo later on. So Mike's a Mike's got a lot of tools up his sleeve, so he played that shot really well.
You know, we missed a question for you a while back, Mike. I meant to get to it and I just didn't, but we'll get to it now. Somebody wanted your thoughts on the situation early this morning with this SVB versus JL Chang match. They get to 115 all, and they decide to call it a night, come back today at 4 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Central time, I apologize, and play a race to 40 for all of it. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so first of all, this is a gambling match. So let me just start off by saying that. Now, Omega Mike and them, they happen to stream a gambling match, but it involves backers with a lot of money. Like I mentioned, I think yesterday, when I talked to Shane before this, or right as soon as this match was, it was not announced, but um, I found out about it. Shane and his side wanted to bet a lot more money uh, than just the 40 that was going to go and be in the middle. So for those of you saying, oh, well, he doesn't bet his own, no, he did and he does and he has on this match. So I'm not saying he's got the whole 40, but he's got a big part of it. Now, Shane was down something like 115, 106, drawn dead. You know, you can say Chang Chang dogged it, you know, by not finishing him off, and maybe to an extent he did. Then you can go and argue that Shane dogged it by letting him off the hook because Shane has all the momentum. But Chang was at the table, took a timeout, and I just posted a picture on my personal Facebook page of what that timeout looked like. He just dies in his chair, basically. They had to go and check his pulse. Um, but he had a shot. Shane says, we can go back in a jacket, bet some more money, and play another race to 40 today for all of it. And they all agreed. I think most of the backers went and agreed. Now, there's a lot of money being bet on it, not just in the middle, but on the rail with these guys. And then, of course, there's people like me who will go and bet other people, um, the side action. But if if the players agree to it, and mind you, it was Shane's idea to go and do it, and Shane was the one stuck. And in my mind, I think Shane was trying to go and get to 115 just to say, hey, let's go and back in a jacket. Because at this point, it's already 6 a.m. Central. You started at 5, so you've already been playing for uh, 13 hours.
13 hours, yeah.
Yeah, 13 hours. So, and I stopped watching around like 2 or so. Games were taking like 20 minutes because there was a lot of safety battles and things like that. So, and of course, Chang's pace of play can be a little bit brutal. But um, for all those who are complaining, and I posted this on my personal page, send me a message. Give me your login information. I'll gladly refund you, and you don't got to watch anymore. That's my opinion on it. Aside from that, just enjoy it and appreciate two great players that are battling it out. Shane was stuck 10 games once, came back. I think he got within one.
No, he
Chang
was stuck.
extended it again.
He was stuck 11, 91-80, and got back 11 straight games, got to 91-91. And then from there, Chang built another 10-game lead over the course of the next 25 games or so.
Yeah. It's two giants of the game playing 10 ball, and they're both, it's a real slugfest. I love it. You can't go and question their heart, but at the end of the day, like I said, this is a gambling match that involves backers and the players themselves who have money involved in it. So whatever it is they want to do, I'm all for it. Um, and the alternative is for those who do complain, Mike and them don't have to do it. They can go play this table in the back in the back at some room, and nobody will ever go and hear about it. The backers and the players can go and get their money in and play a race, and that'll be the end of it. And you know that they don't have to be any more of this complaining online. So for the life of me, I can't stand it. Now, if whoever you bet with has an issue with the race being extended, well then go deal with it. You know, it's just that simple.
Well, I think it's
Go and deal
something.
with it.
Anytime you're side betting on somebody else's match, this is something that you have to understand as a possibility. They are the ones that control the game. They can do whatever they want. And you have to factor that in when you're making your side bets, that things are subject to change. And you have to be paying attention if you have money on it and be ready to adjust with whoever you're betting with if need be, because the situation changes. It's not anybody else's money except Shane and Chang and their backers.
Yeah, and I mean, and I know there's a lot of money involved. I mean, just with side action that I have, it's 5 figures for people that I've helped get action myself. It's a lot of money. But when I got up this morning after um, going back to bed, messaged everyone. Everyone was good. Some were like, I don't care either way. We can cancel it. We can go and leave it on. Everyone agreed to just keep it going because we all just like the action and we all just like watching great pool. So,
Absolutely. And speaking
but
of great pool, Kang Lee with a great chance here to go ahead and close this match out. Kind of put Michael out of his misery, I guess.
yeah, for sure.
Really, really tough to see a good player struggle the way that Jednak has, but he'll bounce back. He'll be just fine. He actually was jumping out of his chair to concede that 10 ball, the handshake there.
Good sportsmanship from Mike.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just to get back to the SVB and Chang situation,
I couldn't believe it, man. I woke up this morning at 5 and I was like, no way, it's still going on. I was blown away, Jeremy.
Yeah. And, one of the first comments that I had when I first saw that flyer made was that I could not believe that Shane had not somehow negotiated for a shot clock. I really thought
they would never do that in gambling. I mean, not anyone that's going to be gambling seriously, because at the end of it, like, they don't care about what your opinion is on their pace of play. And when I mean they, I mean not just the player themselves, but the backers. They don't care what everyone thinks about Chang's slow play. They just care about getting their money in and getting a win. That's it. Bergman's the same way. Go ask the Sword brothers if they care about how slow he plays. I know the answer to it. It's all about the money. The fans and the streaming and all that. This whole dog and pony show, it doesn't have to come along with it. Like I said, they can go play in some back room at some pool hall and no one's ever got to know, and can just be a story to go and tell your grandkids if you're one of the players. They do it for the fans. So, but it's a shot clock. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind seeing that a part of the negotiations if you have an extremely fast player and a rhythm player versus a player who does notoriously go and play slow. I wouldn't mind seeing that in negotiation. And maybe if it were to happen, I'd like to see how that slow player adjusted. But I think it'll be a long time before we ever see that in a legitimate gambling match.
Do we get to see Victor Zelensky playing a match coming up, or?
I don't know.
Taking a look at the schedule here.
Oh, let me see here. Let's see. Let's try to get some updates for those of you still with us. No.
Yeah, I think we are watching table 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the schedule right now. Victor Zelensky versus Jeremy Seaman coming up at 1:30 on the schedule. So that should be our next match here on this table.
Wow, so over on the TV table, Fedor was down 3-0, comes back to make it Hill. Kachi wins. I think they're in the second set right now. Fedor's up. Fedor was up 2-0. Then it's 2-2. And it's still 2-2 in a little bit of a moving battle. So we got some action on the main TV table. So make sure and go and support those guys. World Billiard TV, CSI. Two guys who may end up on Team Europe for the Mosconi Cup. But Jeremy, I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, brother. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I think me as well, guys. We are, I guess, going to go ahead and stop the stream for now, but make sure you're following the Booth Brothers on Facebook, or the Pool Player Podcast on Facebook, or Pool Player Podcast on YouTube, or Windows Open. That's the page of Blaine and Mike. Make sure you guys follow all those pages. You can also follow my page, The Sweat. And we will be back before the start of that 1:30 match between Victor Zelensky and Jeremy Seaman. Third round winner side action here at the CSI Predator Pro Series, stop number 3 in Michigan. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back.